Hi, this is Joanne from Joanne to Success, and I'm checking in for week 8 of Fitster. I had a good week last week. I had 4 marbles for my NSVs. I did have a gain of 0.8, so I'm 293.8. So it's not a real biggie for me right now. I want to let you know I did watch the video for Brenda for the challenge, and I took some notes. It's the first time I've seen that video. There are some points in there that I guess I could relate to, and one was that they said the life we lived is not sufficient for the purpose for what we are called for, and like I said, I can relate to that. Because I know that God has more for me. He has more for me. And the other thing was that the mention of 40, in which that amount of time is needed for transformation. When I was 40 was the year that my son passed away. I was going to be turning April that I turned April that following in that April. I would have been 41. I was 41. I bring this up because on March 3rd was when my son passed away, 2006. His name was Riley Grable Gray. Excuse me. He was 10 years old. He was in the 5th grade. He had asthma, and overnight he just caught pneumonia. But the next morning, that evening, he told me he was sick. So he had been taking his nebulizer, the breathing thing to help him breathe. But by the next morning, the pneumonia had set in, and his lungs just filled with fluid. But that, like I said, that date's coming up. Before this, God gives us different talents, different gifts. And I believe that before this, when my son was 5 years old, that God allowed me to see his death. I had several dreams about my son, of drowning in the water, of slipping or getting lost in the water. And the last dream I had of him was finding him, but that he had drowned in the bathtub. We didn't see him. I just came home and found, in my dream, I found him like that. And me and my oldest son were trying to get him breathing, doing CPR and all that stuff. So I knew that time was coming. I knew it was going to happen. And in the day that my son did pass away, I was with him in his room. He was trying to do his nebulizer again, and he just collapsed on the bed. We had already called the ambulance and stuff for him too, but they didn't get there. But my oldest son happened to be at home. He was over 18 by then. He happened to be home at that time, and he came right away, and he did start the CPR. We had a friend who worked in the community, who was also had been a EMT. He came to our house. He heard the call on his radio, and he came to our house within less than 10 minutes, trying to help us revive him. So I know that everything that could be done was done. like I said, it's been a hard time. I'm having a hard time now. I mean, it's been 12 years, but it's still difficult. But there were some verses in the Bible that helped me through, that have helped me, and one of them is from Hebrews 12:1, and it talks about being surrounded by a great crowd of witnesses, that we are to run the race with endurance that is set out for us. So I know that all of our loved ones, and those that are believers in Christ who have gone to heaven, are there, are cheering for us. They watched, waiting for our race to be done. Another one is First Thessalonians 5:16, and it says we are to rejoice, pray continually, and give thanks in all circumstances. It is the hardest thing to do, but we do it. We do it because that's what God wants for us. And the last verse I have is from 2 Corinthians 12:9. After my son passed away, I had the hardest time. I didn't know how I was supposed to go on. What are you supposed to do when your child's gone and that was your baby, the one who's supposed to be with you, the longest. And in my dream, I had a dream, and I asked God, what do I do? How can I go on? And in my dream, I heard him say to me, my grace is sufficient. And that's where this verse comes from. So I know, God brings us things to us when we need it the most. And this was one of them. I'll try to have a video up this week with pictures, of my son Riley. Like I said, it is a difficult week for me, but I can make it through. God is with me. He's with my son. As many times as I think it's not fair, why not? Why not, Riley? Why not? To make that our goal, to get there to heaven, to be there with them again, with our family. I also have to say, that like the thing, like I said, with gifts, God allowed me to see other things in my dreams. Some people may not think it's true or whatever, but I've seen things, not just with my family. Like when someone's sick or something, I usually see them in my dreams, and it's up to me to be able to work to see if they're okay, or to check on them, But I want to mention a couple of those dreams was that I seen this. Oh, in my one dream, I was in this building where it collapsed all around us. The whole thing just collapsed, and that dream was before the towers fell. Another dream, I seen a rocket trying to take off, and it just burst into flame. It just fell. I mean, I just seen it fall, and that was also before that. I think it was a Challenger or something exploded on when it took off. I've talked only to my family about these things, but I've seen it, and I trust God to help me through each of these things that I see. Even if it's to pray for those families that were involved. maybe it's to bring something to my family, that will help us to get through things together. Um, but like I said, I know God is there with us through each of these things, and just like with us here doing the Fitster, um, God is with us all the way, and I know He's gonna see me through, just like He'll see, every one of you through. Each day that we wake up, we take on these challenges, and then for us, Becka, who also lost her baby. Each night we go to bed, we're one day closer to being with our children, and those are some of the things that we have to look forward to. I also wanted to thank Kevin for watching my video about my culture, about the events that happened this past weekend, and I'll try to explain some more of that another time, because we also have like 3 other culture events coming up this spring and summer, where I'll have more pictures and stuff with that. So you all have a blessed week, and I'll talk to you again later. Bye.